Hey everyone, this is Ujjwal and I hope you're having a great day. I just wanted to talk about today's video. Today we will be making an album, a scrapbook from start to finish, and it's one of the most requested videos, and I finally found the time to actually make it and to edit it and upload it. It's a huge video, so I have broken it down into two parts. One part, which is going live today, has the binding and how to make the pocket pages and how to attach the pocket pages. So it's very interesting, lots of new things that you might pick up. And the second part that will come on next Tuesday has the interactive elements and the embellishments, etc. So I hope you enjoy watching this video, which I've made with a lot of love, and I hope it's helpful. And if you're here for the first time, hi, I'm Ujjwal. I'm a scrapbook artist and a mixed media artist. I love all things creative, and I've been creating for about 12 years now officially. Of course, I've been creative since I was a child, but I started blogging 12 years ago and I haven't looked back. Okay, I have a piece of pattern paper stuck on. So yeah, stick around, just go through the channel, lots of content, lots of videos in the channel. They cover lots of different aspects of paper crafting. There is mixed media, there is card making, there are tags, lots of different things, a variety of content for you. And if you like the content, do subscribe to the channel. And yeah, let's get creative together. I can't wait to share more with you. All right, let's get started and work on this album. So the idea for this album actually came when I was working on these cascading cards for Dress My Craft inspiration post, and the full video to create these cards is on the Dress My Craft YouTube channel. I will link it here on the video and in the description below. So to start with, I am using three pieces of chipboard, one for the front cover, one for the back cover, and then there is one for the spine. The album will measure 5 inches by 8 inches and the spine is 3 inches wide. So you can see that written in this on the chipboard pieces as well. And to form the binding or to bind these three together, I'm actually using a fabric paper. This is available at Crafter's Corner and I really love it because it doesn't crack like paper does. It's the best of both worlds, basically, fabric as well as paper. So one side has the fabric feel and the other side has the paper feel, and it works beautifully for binding the albums like this. So I've covered one side of all three chipboard pieces with some strong double-sided tape so that it stays in place, and make sure you burnish it really well with bone folder. And now I'm using this 12 by 12 sheet of fabric paper, and I started in the center, so my spine goes in the center, and then rest of the two pieces, the front and back, will go on each side. So you want to leave a little bit of gusset in between so that it can fold over easily. And we are going to cover the remaining part as well, because the width of the entire thing was a little bit longer than 12 inches. I'm going to cover that later with pattern paper. But I wanted the spine part, the binding part, to be with the fabric paper so that it doesn't crack and it holds its place and stays strong. So once that is done, we are going to use some pattern papers. I'm going to pick out some from this beautiful shabby blues collection from Dress My Craft. The papers are really pretty. I love all the shades of blues that this paper pack has, and
it just looks beautiful, and the combination of red and pink roses and the blues in the papers really turns out beautiful. So I've cut a piece that's slightly shorter than 8 inches, and then um, it's about 4 inches, 4.5 inches wide, so that it will cover the spine area. Again, the whole width of this thing is more than 8 inches, so I have to break down the pattern papers such that it looks good, and it doesn't look like I was short of pattern paper over there. So I'm going to cover the center first and then use two different pieces to cover the sides. So again, lots of tape. Please be generous with the adhesive, because binding is the most important part of the album. So you want to make sure that you use good amount and good quality of adhesive at this point. So just cover the center part. I'm just eyeballing it and adding it to the center, and then you can use your scoring tool, bone folder like this, to make sure that the creases are perfect, and again the paper doesn't crack. Scoring makes sure that your paper won't crack. So this part is done. Now for the front and back, I'm using this another beautiful pattern paper from the same collection. It has these beautiful roses, and I'm going to cut out a sheet that will cover the front. So you can see how I'm doing this. I have excess, at least 1.5 inches excess on all three sides, and I'm going to just again add some tape and cover the front and the back. And now here I am repeating the exact same process for the back side cover as well. So I'm using the same pattern paper for both sides. That way I can use any side as front and back for now. So here, as you can see, we have covered our front and the back. And now before I add anything else, I'm going to use this silver mirror cardstock from Dress My Craft. And because I used the same cardstock stripes or strips in the cascading cards, I wanted to do the same thing for the album as well. I wanted to include these really thin strips as my accents for the album, and I think it goes really well, and it will also cover the joint there. So I'm going to add this silver strip, and I'm using glossy accents because it's one of the strongest glues that I have, and I want to make sure that this thin thick strip stays in place and is stuck really nicely. So I'm adding a very thin line of glue, glossy accents, and I'm going to just place the strip, and I'm going to fold the axis part on the inside, so that again the top part is really neat. And the inside part is again going to get covered with a different sheet of pattern paper, so none of this would be visible. Next, I'm going to cut out two pieces of pattern papers for the inside cover. So this is just slightly smaller than 5 inches by 8 inches, which is the size of the front and the back chipboard. So I'm going to use the same pattern paper here so that it all looks really cohesive and nice. And this is going to cover all of the binding and folds and the silver strip, etc., and will make it look really neat. So now we're going to keep this aside and let it dry, and I'm going to in the meantime work on the hinge part of the album, where we will actually attach our pages. So I'm using another sheet of pattern paper, 7 by 3/4 inches, 1/4 less than our spine height. So now I'm going to score it 1 inch, 1 inch, and then a 1/4 inch. Again 1 inch, 1 inch, 1/4 inch. So that is the pattern we are going to follow. We need two sections of 1 inches each, and then there is a 1/4 inch section. Okay, so you will understand this better once I flip over the paper and you can see the scoring marks. This side it is difficult to see. So once I turn it over, now you can see that I have two sections of 1 inch, and then there is a section, a 1/4 inch section in between. And now I'm going to crease these score lines really well. So the 1 inch part will fold over, and that will be our hinge where we attach our page. And the 1/4 inch part in between is our gusset, or the space between two pages. So we will just fold and crease using our bone folder all of these score marks. And it might look a bit complicated right now, but it's really easy. All you have to remember is 1 inch, 1 inch, and then 1/4 inch. And now next we are going to adhere the two 1 inch sections together. So you want to add tape to one of the 1 inch section so that you can adhere them both together, and that will form our hinge. So you can do you can see me doing the same thing here. I'm just adding the tape to one of the 1 inch sections, and then we are going to fold over our other section over it so that it sticks together. Once you've done that, you will see that you will get this structure. There will be clear hinges and your back will be entirely flat. And this is the portion where you're going to, the flat part on the back side, you will add more tape, and this is the part we are going to stick to the spine part of the cover that we made earlier. So again, add lots of adhesive, make sure you can see I'm doubling up there. I'm using the liquid adhesive as well as the tape just to make sure that it sticks really well. So this is the these hinges will actually hold our pages, so they need to be super strong and they need to be adhered really well. So just make sure that you add a really strong adhesive and you really burnish it down in the spine, and that's all you have to do. Here is our spine. Now to make it even more beautiful and to go in with the theme, plus to give it more strength and make sure that it adheres well, I'm going to use the same silver cardstock, silver mirror cardstock, and cut out some more thin strips, and then we are going to add it to our spine. for this part again, I'm going to go back to the glossy accents because these silver mirror cardstock is pretty thick, and I want to make sure that it stays there really well. So I'm using glossy accents, and I'm going to add these strip on each of the gusset part that we left, the quarter-inch part that's attached to our spine. So it will show up between every page, and it will make it look good. Plus, when we fold it over, the excess part we're going to fold over, it will make sure that our hinges stay in place. So it has a dual purpose here, and I really love the effect that it adds and the detailing that it gives to the album. So this is one of my newest favorite thing, with the adding these little tiny strips. It really adds a lot of detailing to your scrapbooks. So I'm just going to fold them all over, and then I'm adding a little bit of masking tape just to keep them all in place till they dry. And then we're going to use another piece of pattern paper to just cover this part of the spine and make it look beautiful. So now that our cover and hinges are completely ready, we are going to work on the pages. And for this particular album, I'm making some pocket pages, and I have a bunch of pattern papers from the same Shabby Blues collection out. And we want to make sure that the pages stay inside. And since they're pocket pages, they will have insert as well to go inside. So I'm just measuring it out to make sure that I have the right measurements. So I will be needing papers that measure 8¼ inch by 4½, and I will just explain in a while how I arrived at that measurement. So for now, right now what I'm doing is I'm cutting out pages to make the pockets. Now we have 5 hinges, so we can add 5 pocket pages in our album. And for that, for each pocket, I'm going to need 2 pieces of 8¼ by 4½ inch. So for 5 pockets, I would need 10 pieces of this measurement. And that is what I'm doing right now. And to explain the measurement part, let's do the easy one first, which is 4½ part. So the album measures 5 inches wide, and I want to make sure that the pages stay inside. And since we are adding pocket pages, we will also need an insert that will come out a little of our pockets. So I want to make sure that all of that has a space to go inside the album. That's why I have cut the size at 4½ inches. So we have an ½ an inch extra to cover the insert and to make sure the pages don't pop out. Now for the 8¼ inch part. So basically whatever the height of your hinge, which in our case is 7 3/4, you want to add ½ an inch extra, which will be the hinge that will help us make our pocket. So if your hinge is 8 inches high, you are going to need the sheet to be 8½ inch. If your hinge is say 5 inches high only, you are going to need your pages to be 5½ inches. So I hope I'm making this clear. All you have to do is add ½ an inch to whatever is the height of your hinge where you have to add the pages. Okay, so here I'm scoring at scoring that ½ an inch away from on all sheets of all the 10 sheets that I cut out. So I have this ½ inch area here which will help us make our pocket. So we're going to score it, and then I'm going to crease it really well so that it is easier to stick them together. And I hope you will understand this. I'm sure you will understand this better when I attach these pages, and you will know how the pockets will work. Alright, so now that all of these are scored, you can see this is how we are going to attach to make a pocket here. So I'm going to add the double-sided tape to all the 10 pieces that I have scored, and then we are going to join them together. So here now I'm going to start attaching the two pieces. So you want to take one side, the folded side, and attach it to the other piece at the non-folded end, and then do the same thing on the other side as well. You take the folded side and attach it to the non-folded end of the other piece. This way you will have an open-ended pocket. Um, so it is open on two sides and closed on two sides. So we're going to do the same thing for all of these pieces and attach them. I'm just making sure the patterns look good together, which one should go where, and then I'm going to attach everything just like we did the first one. So here we go again. So the folded end to the non-folded end of the other piece, and then again similarly the folded end to the non-folded side. This way you're going to attach your two pieces of pattern paper together and you will have an open pocket. So the pocket will be open from both sides at this time. So once you've attached all of these 10 pieces, you will have 5 open pocket pages like this. And now we are going to add them to our album. So I'm going to use the double-sided tape again. You could definitely use a liquid glue here. And I'm going to add tape to both the sides of the hinge so that we can stick our pocket page inside. So before I start attaching the pocket pages, I also wanted to add a couple of vellum inserts in between. I thought it would add a more dreamy look to the album. So I'm just cutting out a piece of vellum here. Again, this is from Just My Craft. I bought it from Crafters Corners, and I'm cutting it the same size as our hinge is in the album. I have two pieces, so I want to add two different inserts, one on the front and then one in the middle somewhere. So I'm scoring it and making a hinge so that I can add that before I add the actual pocket page over there. So I've added the vellum there, and now I'm going to add another piece of double-sided tape to add the pocket page on the hinge. And before I start adding these pocket pages, I'm going to taper off the hinge ends here. It just makes adding the pocket part quite easy. The pockets fit better if you taper the ends. So I highly recommend doing this if you're using or if you're doing hinge binding like this, and especially adding pocket pages. If they were regular single pages, it would be no issue. But for pocket pages, I highly recommend tapering off the ends a little bit. And now we are going to take our pocket page and just remove the cover of the adhesive there, and just insert the one open end on the hinge. And if you measured everything right, it will fit perfectly on the hinge over there, like so. And then you can just push it down, align everything, and then just push it down on the tip, and there you go. You have one of the pages attached to the album, just like that. So this is the fun part because you've already done all the work. This comes together really quickly. So I'm going to do the same. Just remove the adhesive cover and then insert the pages. Make sure they align, and just push them down, push the adhesive down, and the pages will adhere really well. So and again, use a bone folder. Make sure that all the creases are perfect. A bone folder will just help the pages settle down better. So again, I wanted to add another vellum insert in between. So I'm adding this vellum on the third hinge here, which is in the middle, and I will continue repeating this process till I have all the pages stuck together. And there you go, we have our album base ready. It looks beautiful. The measurements came out to be perfect, and the pocket pages are ready. Now you can see that if you add an insert there, it goes really well. So we are going to make the inserts and the interactive elements and the embellishments in the next video. Stay tuned for that. It's coming next Tuesday, and I hope you enjoyed this video. It was really fun to create an album from start to finish, and I would love to hear your suggestions, your comments, and your feedback on this video. Let me know if it was helpful for you, and I will see you again next time. Bye bye and have a good day.